Welcome back to the channel, and we're here with another inbox review of something else I have in the stash. This is the Academy Panzer IV, the HJ model in 1/35th scale. This is originally a 1984 mold, and this is a 1987 boxing of it, which introduced the option of doing an H or a J. This is a well-used mold. It's been in use for quite a while, a couple of companies. In fact, Airfix has recently licensed the mold and has been producing it for 2019-2020 with some new decals. So we'll take a look and see what's inside. So, opening it up, we have the standard stuff. I've already taken the baggies out. I love this cute little thing here that check with the part list before unsealing. Replace and return not guaranteed if the plastic is unsealed. Well, I did get it new, so it was sealed. We will start with the instructions. Fairly simple build-up. Good parts count. 3-page instruction sheet. Pretty straightforward. So it gives you a few options there. And yeah, that at the end. All right, moving on. We have, start with the main hull assembly. We'll just zoom in a little bit here. So yeah, you can tell it's definitely a Japanese mold from the fact that you've got the attachments here that you could put a battery in when they were motorized, like the Tamiya ones, etc. So other than that, it's in good shape. The upper hull is in one part. Looks pretty nicely done. Some nice little details there for like anti-slip pads, etc. So yeah, looks good. Moving on to the sprues. Actually, we'll just mention the familiar rubber tracks. For those of us that hate doing your traditional individual tracks, you do have the rubber tracks here, so we'll see how they go during the construction progress. All right, first sprue looks like mostly the turret assembly with the gun. The barrel is a two-piece barrel, so there will have to be some work done there to make sure it comes out smooth, but you've got things like the machine gun here. Things like that. I'll introduce a bit more light. So basically mostly the turret assembly from the looks of it. Looks pretty good for the mold for the time, fairly crisp. So nice surface detail in there, which is again what I'm looking for this kit. This isn't designed to be a complex kit as berets its age from the 80s. You won't have a 900 part monster as you do from some of the modern stuff. Okay, the drive wheels, etc. Pretty straightforward. Again, pretty good detail from what I can see. No ugly ejector pin marks in the wrong spaces, etc. So yeah, overall not bad at all. Just looking here at the main wheel assembly, there's some nice little rivet assembly in there and stuff like that. Rivets it shows, things like that. So not bad at all. And then the final large sprue is more of the turret with some of the bits and pieces, fuel tanks, etc., storage lockers, things like that. Again, fairly well cast. There's some of the tools, etc. You can see there. Pretty straightforward. So yeah, it should be a straightforward build. Higher part count than you think, actually. One thing I noticed in the instructions, they do like putting a lot of different components in the instructions. So like, for example, for part 1, there's quite a large number of things to do. So maybe only 4 pages, but they do pack a lot of instructions in each step. So just finishing up here, more of the for the drive wheels, allow you to the poly caps, I guess. So in fact, they even say that on the thing. Poly, I don't know if you can read that, but it actually does say poly cap. So the poly caps, and then last but not least, very minimal decals. Nothing special, and that's fine. I'm probably going to be doing it as the single scheme here, which is an Africa core machine. So that should be fine. The only other things you get in the box is a little guideline for beginners, just some basic stuff there. For someone who's new to the hobby, how to cut, all the basic stuff, how to put decals on, etc. Yep, just recommending different cements, etc. I'm just seeing what it mentions the color. It doesn't. They mention enamel paints here, but you can use whatever paints you want. And the standard Academy. Again, just saying how to do it carefully, trim the sprues, etc. I didn't look for color callouts, to be perfectly honest. Let me just see. It might be on the side of the box. We'll just have a quick peek. Nothing there. And nothing there. But you do get some nice pictures showing how it can look. It's a nice little 3-color scheme. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this camouflage or I'm going to do it strictly Africa core machine or something like that. So we'll see what happens. I'm just double checking here to see if it mentions color callouts, and it actually doesn't on here. So they might be around somewhere, or they just assume that the modeler's going to know. So there we go. So anyway, that is the complete Panzer IV from Academy. It's going to be the next build I do. Again, complement the other ones I've done, which have mostly, other than the Panther I did, everything else has been kind of a desert scheme. I do like those schemes, so that'll go well. But yeah, fairly good value. And as I said, Airfix actually is doing this rebox as well now in their 135th line. So if it's some subject you're interested in and you want a quick build, this might be something to check out. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe both here on the YouTube page. You can also subscribe to the website blackfire.ca, and of course I do a podcast called the Scale Model Podcast, where we talk about things like this and other things, and you can check that out at scalemodelpodcast.com. So that's it for today. Thank you once again for your support, and be well.